matter of business tonight is the approval of the minutes of the meeting from 11/20/24.
I would move the minutes be approved as written.
Second.
Any corrections or additions, deletions? Seeing none, those in favor? Okay. Kim, thank you. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Selectmen's comments, Tom.
Yeah, a couple things. Wanted to thank the events committee for a successful and well-attended tree lighting event last weekend. And to Allison for being the master of ceremonies. The resilience grant mailing, we finally got it all from the printer. So we have all of the bits of the mailing, and we're gonna probably have to organize an envelope stuffing party. Probably do that this coming weekend.
That's going to be mailed separate from anything else. It's not going out with anything else from the town.
No, it's just, we're using the every door direct mail, so it's really cheap.
That, I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, so yeah, the postage for the whole mailing is only like a few $100. So, but yeah, that stuff came together pretty well. Hopefully we'll get that out the door within the next week or two. So the Climate Resilience Committee has been really busy preparing to apply for another of these community resilience grants. They're thinking of applying for a grant to undertake a climate vulnerability assessment and a climate action plan. This is the same work that's been done in Wisconsin and Rouseck and Georgetown in recent months. The committee has gotten the Gulf of Maine Research Institute to help write the grant, since they know a lot about this and they've done many of these before. So they're going to submit the grant sometime in December. And I wasn't really sure if we needed to take board action to sort of blast them applying for this grant or not. I mean, it's obviously I don't think there's any matching funds involved in this program. So is that something that the board would need to take action on to say, yeah, we want you to apply for this grant? Or is
We want to make a motion?
We can cover it, yeah. So I would move that we authorize them to do that, to apply for grants. And obviously, if there's something that we have to do, then let us know.
Well, when the grant is submitted and awarded or not, after it's awarded, we may have to do something to accept the money.
Did I hear a second?
Second.
Those in favor? Okay.
As part of that application, the committee has asked, well, GMRI has asked that the EMS and fire departments submit a letter of support to be included in the grant application. GMRI can provide you guys with an example or a template or whatever. So I think it's going to be nothing other than to change a few words and sign it, and that'll be that.
Okay.
Okay. And that's it.
Okay, Dale?
Nothing.
Just a couple of things. Matt did the floats. The big floats were moved, and David obviously did the other floats a while back. The other thing I have is I did speak with Ruth from Kelt, and this is in regards to, I think we know from conversations with DOT that the road may not happen next year, but it may end up happening in 26. We kind of touched on that at the last meeting. So Ruth has said that later this winter, January, February, sometime, we could actually get together at a workshop or do something and talk about the plantings and what we would want to include in a RFP to get a landscape architect or I'm not good at this, a tree planter kind of thing, to figure out what we want, and so that we could at least get pricing and that sort of thing.
That's for this road right here.
Well, it's really for the project down here.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and so that could actually get done next summer though. Notice, she said that her stuff, so the boat ramp, the opening of the bridge, the water pipe relocation, all the stuff that we talked about that they're handling, she expects permitting to be done by late spring, and then they will go to bid as quick as they can for all this work that we all know about, you know. So she also said that that work would, they're hoping that work will take place, you know, like a year from now. Most of that in-water work has to be done in the wintertime due to the environmental constraints and the fish and all that kind of stuff. But we could actually get, they know how much money they have and where it's going. I'm not necessarily thinking that this tree planting thing is a really large number, but they could, once we all agree to agree, you could get some pricing, somebody draw up what we have, it could go out to bid, we could potentially have it all get done in September or something.
I'd be more, personally, I'd be more in favor of some low-growing bushes rather than trees.
That's, and she did too, she talked about,
Trees are always,
she talked about, as you know, we cut down an apple tree, and there were some pine trees, and there were some, I don't know, I'm not good with trees.
little ash trees.
Ash trees, yeah, there were all these other trees. But obviously some low shrubbery, some bushes, but there again, you know, not things that would make it difficult to keep mowed or maintain or whatever, but there obviously is a.
You know, they're a lot lower maintenance too.
Yeah, well, and then on the bank out there, it may do something to help, but anyway, she's excited about it. I have an email, I'll forward it all to you guys, and it sums all that up. So in January or February or sometime, she's willing to sit down and start thinking about that. At least what we would do is get something done. If the road and the light aren't gonna be done next construction season, at least things would kind of keep going forward.
They pretty much assured us that they would do it in 25.
They did, but at the last meeting, Doug, when I contacted Doug at DOT, he said, look, the right-of-way is backed up, and we talked about 12 to 14 months, and so they have a public comment section coming up really soon, anytime, about, from any of us, about the turn lanes and the impacts and whatever it's gonna do. And then it has to go to right-of-way, and he said it takes 12 to 14 months, and so they don't expect. I clarified with him because he said, well, we expect to advertise in like January or something of 26. I'm like, no, you mean 25. And he's like, no, I mean 26. So right now it does not look like the new road or the permanent lights are going in this coming. Hey, I'm just a messenger. I've been screaming at him.
This light out here is rented by Reed. So is the state gonna take over are we gonna?
I think they already have.
Keep a light there, or are they gonna take the light away and then come back with a?
Well, I think what we heard from DOT, and I think they already have, the road is open back up. DOT told us they were going to arrange with Reed. It's Reed or their subcontractor that did this. So either DOT's gonna rent it, they're gonna purchase it, or they own it, or whatever they're doing. That's what we were told. Reed is ahead of schedule, so in DOT's eyes, they're like, oh no, this is exactly what we talked about, but of course they promised in 25 that we might get this road, but so Reed is 1 year ahead, so they're figuring it out.
I just would hate to see the light go away.
It will not go away.
I hope not. The light went away for a few months and then came back, it would be a total disaster.
Yeah, we have been told by DOT that the light will not go away because obviously you could not retrain traffic and start over.
Too bad that they wouldn't come down and put in the smart light, even if they weren't going to do the intersection right off.
I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, the right-of-way stuff to me doesn't seem that, without knowledge, that overly complicated, but they have a process and they're dealing with the middle road replacement, they're dealing with the middle road paving, they're dealing with Route 1 paving, which we all learned about last meeting. There's all these things and it takes what it takes. They have been already surveying though. You saw it.
Oh yeah, they've been surveying
doing some stuff.
all the way to the town line.
Yeah. All right, that's the best I can say.
The paving is still gonna happen though, right?
On the middle road?
Middle road.
Middle Road, River Road, expected to be paved this, and then we all know that we just had a public hearing closure on the culvert replacement in the gully north of Old Stage Road, right? And so we know that that's going to happen, we know more about it, but.
Do we have a firm timeframe yet?
I'm not sure specifically, but they did narrow the window down for the road closure. Was it 15 days? Or there was some specific.
Before the paving.
Yeah, it is before the paving.
Yeah.
Do we know when Reed's gonna be done with the, with demolishing the temporary bridge?
Yeah, we only really know what we were told, and like I say, they've got plenty of time, they're ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
They, as you know, Jimmy was here and kind of said, oh, we'll get all this removed by the first of the year. They're working on it. I'm not sure that that's the case.
Kind of looks like it's a,
Yeah.
fellow project.
Yeah, I think David's right. They jumped some crews over to the Frank J. Wood Bridge, and I mean, I know what I know about construction. And so, but they're ahead of schedule, they're not in any trouble, and so they're fitting things in. It's not a bad thing from a road standpoint, because if the roads ever freeze up and get colder, you've got all this materials they're moving. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I only know it changes regularly. That's it.
That's it? The only thing I want to talk about our heat assistance program. We're fortunate that an awful lot of people in this town are very generous with our heat assistance program. But there's nobody, we're not getting as many requests as I think we could get. There's an awful lot of people in this town that I think could benefit from help from that program, but just for whatever reason, pride or whatever, they don't want to come down and apply. So what do you guys think about maybe running an ad in the Wiscasset paper or something to tell people, you know, that we're not going to broadcast their name. If somebody comes down and wants assistance, that we will help them, and the only people who will know is whoever they tell. I don't know.
I don't know if those people would be reading the paper.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe you're onto something, but maybe whether it's through a town reach out,
Or even our changeable copy sign out there, that don't, something just simple, put it simple on there, don't go cold. We can help with Woolwich residents with heat, I just think there's an awful lot of people in this town that for whatever reason just don't want to come down here and ask for help, and it's tough. I mean, we do keep kerosene at the building here. If somebody runs out in the middle of the night, we can help them in the middle of the night. And, I don't know.
We can make, so on that mailing thing there, David, you see that QR code on the magnet.
Yep.
That actually will take the person to this, a dedicated page on the town website that has resources like the heating assistance program, but other things related to
I
public
just
safety.
wonder how many 78 or 88-year-old people would.
You're right, I mean,
would know that
Hopefully they're family members.
It's better than it used to be, but yeah.
It's the same, if you had a cohesive message or a little picture or something you wanted to say, could be put on just the town Facebook page, but like on the Woolwich community Facebook page, and something you could put, and it would start to get the information out there.
That's a good idea.
And honestly, I think a lot of the people who need it, they're gonna probably hear it from family members or somebody who knows they need help rather than.
We should put that on the.
Well, and you guys get around a lot.
The what, I'm sorry?
I mean, if we had flyers, I could leave them at houses even, if we go to call.
I hope anybody, you don't.
We noticed this week.
The issue is with the ordinance that we have for the heating assistance program is it says right in there that they have to apply for general assistance first. And if they don't qualify for general assistance, then they can apply or they qualify for this because it's not based off of income. But also in that ordinance, it says we only offer it, during the coldest months, January through March, unless there is an elder person in the household or children.
Why don't we put it
So-
on our next meeting to review that and see if we want to make
Because I think
changes to that.
because we did that, I think we have the authority without.
So
We
we
have
get
the
phone
authority
calls
to do it,
about
it's
it,
not
but when I
tax
tell
dollars.
people that they have to fill out the general assistance application, the general assistance application is 6 pages long.
Okay.
And they don't want to deal with that.
Okay,
Is that a policy or an ordinance?
No, it's not, I don't think it's an ordinance.
Is it a
No,
policy?
I think it's a policy.
Policy.
So I think what I recall, and you recall too, and Dale, was, in the beginning, we had some influxes and we kind of got a little stricter, and then, but you're right, if you're telling us that you do get people interested, but the process seems a little bit too, I mean, we have to, we don't want folks to
I think
abuse
we gotta
it.
revisit it.
Yeah.
We set this up, this was an idea that I had and to create this. And we started out with just a few people donated to it and everything. And at first, we were actually fairly busy with that. I used to be out a lot with the kerosene cans and stuff. The last few years, I haven't been, and I don't think the need is decreased.
It hasn't, but it also, I get a lot of requests in June and July because they're getting ready for the winter months, and I say we can't order fuel in July, that's just.
That might be something we want to revisit too, because fuel's cheaper in July.
True.
we could,
Yeah.
you know, if it's
Yeah.
60 cents a gallon cheaper in July, we can give
Yeah.
somebody
But-
another
yeah.
15, 20 gallons, you know, for the same amount of money. But why don't you bring
If you remember, we had some
all
folks
the
that-
paperwork for that
As an annual expectation, right?
Send it,
So we gotta-
I can find it and send it to you.
No,
send the
we just gotta
details
find
out
out.
to
I
all
know
of us.
exactly a
And
person.
let's put it on our next meeting's agenda to revisit it, because this is something that we set up
Right.
without going, we never went to a town meeting and set it up.
Right, 'cause it's donated
This is something
funds.
we set up here, and it is donated money.
Yeah.
We can make the changes necessary. But I just think we need to make it easier for people to be able to come down and get help if they need it. And like I say, nobody will know. The only people that will know they got help from us will be the
Yeah.
people they tell.
Yeah.
If they don't tell anybody, nobody will know. We're not gonna keep a record of who we helped and, you know.
So where we don't have another meeting, right? We don't technically have another meeting.
Correct, and I was going to ask when you wanted to do the next meeting, because it actually falls on January 1st,
Right.
on New Year's Day,
So
which is a
the problem with
Wednesday.
that? You're not gonna be here? Come on.
No, but so yes, that's a good question. But on this item, could you send it out to us?
Yes, I will.
Print a copy for Dale? And then
Yeah.
maybe what we can do, no, but maybe what we could do is read it over. And then if we chose to meet some afternoon,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
make an
We can still
announcement
have a-
that we're meeting,
yeah, we don't wait
and,
till-
we
no,
just
whatever.
do a consensus or
yeah,
whatever.
maybe we find a way to improve on that and just do it
All right.
someday. Or-
So, what's the first day that the town hall's open after the first? The first is on
Well,
Wednesday?
we're open, yeah, the first is on a Wednesday. And that's the first, regular select board meeting.
But you're open on Thursday.
We're open on Thursday.
So January-
Unless you wanna push it out the week after, which is what, the 7th? Because Michael Stinton would like to come and talk to the board in January
With an update,
with the, yeah. So the first, yeah, so unless you wanna do
Want to do the 8th and the
the 8th and
22nd?
the 22nd, it's kinda gonna throw things off, but
we don't really get into budget too hard in January, right?
we don't start till February.
Okay. Well, I'm okay with whatever you wanna do.
If I can
It's
find
just
it.
that month that's gonna throw it off. Which actually wouldn't be bad, because then you're gonna start back up on the 5th.
Of February,
Yeah,
yeah. Does that mess you guys up? Where we would change the whole month?
I live here.
so it'd be the 2nd and the 4th, because there's actually 5 weeks in January.
Yeah, right, so that isn't all bad, because the second meeting would be
Right.
farther down.
Yeah,
I'm up for
So
whatever you guys.
if we met on the 8th and the 28th and the 22nd that month,
yeah.
let's do it. Anybody want to make a motion to that effect?
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
Those in favor? Okay, we're gonna meet on the 8th and the 22nd in January, and then in February, we'll go back to the 1st and 3rd,
Okay,
which will be the 5th and the 19th. Okay.
David, anyway, moving on, you gotta move on, but I agree that maybe we should, obviously, we're going the other way now, we're getting people inquiring, but maybe it's a little bit too harsh.
right, I got quite a few requests and inquiries about it in like June, July, August.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So,
I don't have a problem with that, you know, I mean, we still want to make sure that it is an actual person that could use the help.
Yeah.
But, I don't see any need to make it go through a 6-page, application. Okay, public comments, Debbie?
I just go along with Tommy that it was a good program on Sunday night.
Yeah, front page of the Times Record,
I will
Really?
they made the front page of the Times Record.
I will say, I really wanted to be there, but, we went down to,
Jason
Georgia,
did,
to
Jason
spend
did a
Thanksgiving
fine
on my,
job, yep.
He
with my
dressed like
son
you.
and didn't make it back.
Jason dressed like David.
All right.
He probably did a better job than I did.
he sent me the video.
I didn't get that.
Town Administrator's Report, Kim.
All right, so I am still waiting on the Brewers for the carry forwards. I have not heard from them, so I'm hoping before the end of February that we will get it taken care of, so I can get everybody back onto budgets and start sending out statement showing of where you guys are.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, well,
Have you
so,
tried being the squeaky wheel?
to be the squeaky wheel, I know she just sent, requested me to do the, currently known facts and information, so that means they're getting the report put together.
While you mention that, so is the audit complete? No?
I would assume so,
We
they're just
haven't-
getting the book
We
together.
haven't got it, okay,
We haven't gotten it yet.
okay.
So then, once I get that done, because we usually start budgets in February, so,
Yeah.
once I get the carry forwards, then, you know, if you guys wanna meet and figure out where we are budget-wise, before we even have a budget meeting or whatever, just as soon as I know, you guys will know as well. And then I will get everybody updated and send their, current budgets over to them to find out where they are.
Why don't we plan on having our first budget, meeting on the second, meeting in February? Okay, and if we can do it sooner than that, so much the better, but let's.
Well, then hopefully maybe at the meeting in January, we'll get the rest of it figured out, right?
Right.
Yeah, maybe that's what you have to do, Kim, is maybe you have to say the select board expects to get our audit in paper. I know we went over it that day, but until it's in paper,
Right.
you know, I know we can do expense details, we can do this, but nothing is.
Some of the boilerplate stuff we could do in January anyway.
Oh, the budget.
yeah.
Yeah, right. No,
I meant the budget.
I meant.
That's not an issue.
I meant just
It's
making sure we're.
It would be nice to know where everybody stands,
Yeah.
financially.
They call real quickly, like the event committee the other day, when I went, you know, there's no sense to ask me for what you have, because they go, right now, you're in the readers.
Yeah,
And they're like,
yeah.
oh, it's like, well, that's because your major money hasn't been carried forward yet.
Right,
So
yeah.
you don't wanna see the line item.
You don't wanna see that yet. Yeah, so hopefully that will be sooner than later. Allison sent me a link today, and there is a new final ruling on the paid family medical leave. So on the 13th, I have a webinar that I'm gonna watch, which, who knows, that probably will change as well. So the senior tax, property tax assistance that we had from the applications. So we had 25 applicants, 24 of them qualified. I thought it was a huge success. So we spent about $8,300 out of it. And I think Jason and I were kind of talking about it. I don't think we need to raise or whatever,
Increase funding,
increase funding for it, because I think we took them, what, 10,000 out of
surplus.
surplus,
Yeah.
and just keep with that. Because, I mean, to be honest, a lot of people ended up getting $500, which that's a nice little Christmas bonus that they got. So, you know, if we end up getting more applicants, obviously the amount's gonna go down, but I think the 10,000 was adequate enough to spread the wealth to everybody.
Yeah, when you sign the warrant, you'll see the amounts.
the amounts.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm actually glad it was quite,
Yeah, there was a lot of
Very
positive
popular, yeah.
feedback on it. And hopefully, you know, it benefits people and helps them out. What else? So I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I really need banking information and all that. I know I've had one person.
So I keep having people ask because they thought you were going to reach out to them. I've been telling them to come in. So people are asking about it.
Well, okay, I mean, I have their emails for your department, I can send them an email.
Yeah, I mean, and I could email them and said they, you know, if they come into the town hall or to call you.
Okay.
Because they have been asking me about it. I thought she was gonna call. I'm like, "Yeah, go in.
yeah.
Kim, do you have a box in the lobby
No.
that goes to you? I was gonna say, you could just tell them to write down their bank account and put it in.
I don't know if you want
Information on
to.
that.
Well,
Dale has
I
to
mean,
move the
I could
box.
gather the
Slide it under my
information.
door, that's
I
fine,
can
I don't have
gather
an
the
issue.
information and hand it to you.
Yeah.
Which might be easier
However,
for
I mean, I know I
some.
have 3 meetings set up, on the 19th, the 20th, and the 23rd, to go over starting the payroll process, so I kind of like to have all that information to provide to them.
So they have been asking and they.
Okay, I'll reach out to them, that's fine, and Sean, I've already asked you about, because I need emails, birth dates, and phone numbers for some of your people. I'm not that concerned about direct deposit, because the next time the fire department gets paid won't be until June, so we are stressing on that one. Last thing is, well, I have a couple of things. So I'm not gonna be here tomorrow or Friday. Candace is here. And on Christmas Eve, is a Tuesday. Candace is on vacation from the 18th, and she won't be back until the day after Christmas. So I want to see if we can close at noon that day, because it will just be me.
On Christmas Eve or?
Well,
On
Christmas Eve
Christmas
Day,
Eve,
yeah,
which is a
sure.
Tuesday.
I have no problem.
That sounds pretty reasonable.
You'll come in Christmas morning.
I'll be here Christmas morning. Yeah, I'll be here Christmas.
No, I didn't.
No. Yeah. Other than that, I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Road commissioner's not here tonight, but I think everything is in order. Do we have a code officer's report?
Nope, you did not get a
Okay.
report, no.
EMS.
And quick, we had 33 calls in November, 33 patients and 24 transported. We called MC1 for assistance 4 times, Wiscasset once, and we responded to Westport Island and Rouseck once each. December, we've already had 7 calls, 6 of those were Monday and Tuesday, so very busy couple of days. We had 7 patients, 6 transports. There's a lot of respiratory stuff going around, especially with the elderly, and so everybody be safe. Anybody watching the video, just be safe, because there's a weird pneumonia going around, a pretty harsh one, and a lot of other stuff, so just that time of year. And Rescue 1 we changed over to winter tires yesterday and had an oil change. Donnie noticed that 2 of the winter tires, the studs are starting to get really low, so I'm gonna, once I find out exactly the model and stuff, I'm gonna start looking for quotes to replace those. They'll have to be done this winter sometime. They're good for now, but they're starting to get. Rescue 2 should go in sometime later this week or next week to have its winter tires put on. Also, I'm trying to finish up the mandatory Medicare reporting form that we were happily chosen to be one of the ambulance services that had to report for fiscal year 23-24, and I've been kind of waiting to get the final numbers because the audit and the final numbers, but I'm going to actually need that pretty soon because I have this month to finish that whole thing. So I'll just have to go with whatever numbers we have. And I've gotten information from our billing company and the revenue we took in. So, and that's it. I have nothing.
Thank you. Sean.
6 calls since the last meeting. I did receive a call from a citizen in town. Her well ran dry. Between me and Glenn, we filled the well 3 times in a week. It's just a dug well, it's not very deep. She knows she's got I haven't heard from her since it's been about a week now, so I'm assuming that she's got in contact with the actual well drilling company and taking care of it. But she said she's gonna give us a donation. I haven't seen it yet, but we'll see if that takes place. We have the fire department and EMS recognition night tomorrow night here at the fire station at 6 o'clock upstairs. Anybody that wants to attend, I believe Allison's going to be there for that. I found out this afternoon that we got approved for one of the grants that I applied for, the Leary Firefighter Foundation grant. It's a grant up to $25,000 I applied for the extrication multi-tool for engine 3, as well as the cribbing and all the equipment that goes with that. The battery-powered, basically the battery-powered jaw's a life tool. It cuts and spreads, and it has a couple attachments for it, and runs off the Milwaukee batteries that we already have. So that's the good news. Should be hearing more on that in the next couple of weeks as far as when I can order it and all that kind of thing. Still waiting to hear back on Stephen King and forestry grant, and there's one other one that I applied for. I can't remember the name of it, but so waiting on those. And I was just going to say, tomorrow night I'll mention it. Between the 2 of us, we'll mention it. Having folks come in.
Yeah, for the direct deposit.
Everything you need.
Oh, perfect.
If most people will be, it'll be a pretty good turnout, so
Okay,
it'd be a good night
thank
to
you.
mention it. But yeah, so thank you to the board and Jason, I guess, whoever, for figuring out our heating system issues we were having downstairs. North Station, where are we at with that?
We're supposed to talk about it tonight, right?
They called me today actually and asked about it, so.
The doors.
I brought the estimate up. Did everybody see that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I don't like to spend money, but I don't think we have much choice.
Well, I guess for me, it's a cost benefit thing.
Yeah.
If we spend $4,400, are we gonna buy a couple, 3 more years on those doors, or?
I definitely think
I think so.
I think we're definitely talking more than 2 or 3, I mean, I'm hoping we're talking, I think we're talking close to 5 years or something.
Hopefully, yeah. As long as they don't
That was,
rust out.
that was Sean, Tommy and I, and the fellow, that was the consensus, we're not putting parts on something that's getting us a month, you know?
I think even in the summer, if we can get Dale to go out when he paints, maybe
Yeah.
throw another coat of paint on the outside of them to keep
Yeah.
that rust from coming through.
Yeah.
That might even help too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah.
I think it seems like.
I'm confident that we're, I mean, I think we're talking at least 5 years is what I would.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at them, I think
Let's
so.
I'll entertain a motion then.
I move that we, authorize PDQ to repair the doors at the North Station.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor? Okay. What do you turn them loose?
yeah, I'll call him tomorrow.
$43.97.
Yeah, that's what we're authorizing, is that right?
Yep, yeah, I'll call him tomorrow.
Stick to their price.
I did, when Chris called today, I did ask him, I said, I need 2 opener, the remote buttons.
Yeah.
We have 1 and it's on its last leg, and I need 2 because we're gonna have 2 trucks up there, so. But I'll call him tomorrow and get that lined up. Thank you, that's it.
Does anybody have anything else?
I just wanna ask where everybody is on the, risk management violations. I see you ordered books.
They are ordered?
Okay. Where are you with the staircase?
The fish house is done.
Okay,
And
the
I'm gonna-
vegetation and all
I'm
that?
gonna go up and check those railings tomorrow. And,
Okay.
I don't think they're that much lower. You said 34 to 36 inches,
I
right?
sent you the information, right? And it
Yeah, I got
said.
it on my phone. And
Okay.
I will make sure that they are that high, one way or the other. Probably,
They're at
I'll fix
24.
them now to get them off our back, but probably what I'll do is I'll make a new set of steps this spring and
You just lower the steps so the railings are higher?
Well, the
It says the
steps that-
handrails are
it's
at
a historic
24
building,
inches.
So I've always copied the steps that was there when, I think this is either the second or the third set of steps I've made for that building in the last 30 years. And, I've always copied exactly what was there when we
Yeah,
started,
yeah.
but who knows what was
Well,
there in 1800,
Well,
right?
yeah, but nobody's ever said anything until.
Nobody's ever said it.
Till
I mean,
now.
they're an
Every
odd
year they
step.
show up, it's always a
Something-
different,
something
they
new.
see the same buildings,
Well,
the same thing, and
they're
every
odd.
year it's a completely different
They're an
issue.
odd step because the step itself is higher than what you would normally bill for a step today.
But he didn't pick up on
But
that part.
without moving the granite block at the bottom,
Yeah.
it would be hard to add another step.
Right,
So,
right.
you know,
All right, well, appreciate that.
Other than that,
but I will get that done. I'll go up tomorrow morning and look at it and I think there's an easy way out of it.
Yep,
2x6 turret on the side.
yep.
For now.
And the pedestrian, just real quick, those pedestrian signs that kept, they're just in the basement for the winter. They were put away yesterday or Monday or whatever day it was, before plowing, so.
Okay. Anything else? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All right.